To be successful at anything, the truth is, you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't, consistent and willing to work for it. I used to think that running was not for me, and I would not consider myself a running girly at all. Every time I tried, I would just be gasping for air, my legs would feel super heavy, and I would just wonder how anyone actually enjoyed this. But the truth is, running is not about being the fastest or pushing until you want to give up. It's about learning to run in a way that actually feels good for you and builds the habit so that you're not quitting after your first run. So if you ever wanted to be that girl who casually runs and actually likes it, I got you. Today I'm breaking down exactly how to start your running journey and actually stay consistent with it. But if you're new here, hello, my name's Heather, your go-to girl for elevation in wellness and self-improvement. So make sure you hit subscribe if you want to stick around. Little background about me, I was never really a consistent runner. I can actually say I'm a runner as of January 2025. And I'm also completing my 9+1 to qualify this year in 2025 for the 2026 New York City Marathon. So that's currently my background and what I'm training for right now. But I have seen and made a lot of progress so far, and I thought that I would share that with you if you're a beginner runner, from one beginner runner to another. Okay, so before we get started, I need to be real about the number one mistake most new runners make, and that's going way too hard, way too fast, and then never wanting to run again after that. And I've been there. I never wanted to run slow. I wanted to run as fast as I could for as long as I could, and then I would just stop after that. I always wondered how those runners on Instagram make it look so aesthetic and effortless. But here's the secret. You don't need to be fast at first. You just have to get started. It means easing into it. Your body needs to learn how to run again. Think of yourself as a toddler that needs to learn to walk. You need to learn to run. And yes, it does take time. So instead of thinking, I need to run exactly 1 mile today, shift your focus to, I need to get out and get moving. One of the best ways to start is the run-walk method. This is how I started, and I don't think I would have been able to run the distances I've been able to so far without that. So a lot of the times it means running for something as simple as 30 seconds and then walking for 1 minute, and then slowly switching the amount of time that you're running versus the amount of time that you're walking. But slowly increasing your running and decreasing the amount of time that you're walking is going to help you see progress really fast. First, it might sound impossible to run for over 1 minute straight, so set small achievable goals. Here are some red flag goals. I'm going to run every single day for 30 days, or I'm going to run 3 miles by next week. These are both red flag goals that are not going to help you in the long run. You need to instead try setting small, realistic goals, like I will run 3 times this week, or I'll run for 10 minutes total, or I'll increase my run time by 10 seconds every run. This is a key to make running easy so that you don't fail. Next is to focus on time and not distance. Like try running for 10 minutes and then 15 minutes, and then eventually 20 to 30 minutes will feel normal to you. The funny thing is when you stop worrying about the number of miles and just focus on time and getting through that, you'll naturally start running further without even realizing it. And look, progress is probably going to be slow when you're first starting out, but that is okay. Biggest advice I could give when just getting started that I heard that really helped me is start running slow. Start slow. And if you think you're running slow, run slower. And the first few weeks are going to feel hard. The trick is not stopping when it feels hard. Oh my goodness, that's what I wanted to do all the time. But then one day you'll realize it actually feels good to run. So basically for your next run, don't overthink it. Just set tiny goals and keep showing up. And I promise you got this. Okay, let's talk about something that no one really warns you about before you get started running. And that's that running in the wrong shoes can actually be torture. And I've learned that from firsthand experience. I used to fall into the trap of running with shoes that I just had bought because they were really aesthetic. For example, this is a pair of shoes that are from Nike that I thought were built for running, but they actually don't provide any of the support that you actually need to run, and they're really truly more so for looks and aesthetic than what you need when you go on a good run. So yes, it actually does matter if you have the proper pair of shoes to go for a run and not some old worn out gym shoes. This would be an example of some old worn out gym shoes, because what will happen is you will get blisters, more likely to get injuries like shin splints and random foot pain. And when you're just starting on your running journey, you don't want running shoes to be the thing that's holding you back. So do yourself a favor and get the right running shoes so that you're prepared to start your running journey. So let's talk about how to find the right pair of running shoes, because not all running shoes are built the same. So what you want to look for is a comfortable fit. Your shoes may feel good the moment that you put them on, but you actually need to run around a little bit while wearing these shoes and also leave room for your feet to expand, which they typically do when you're running. If anything is rubbing you you uncomfortably or feels a little tight in certain areas, expect it'll feel more tight and more uncomfortable the longer you wear them and for more distances. So just look for good, comfortable shoe. Next is cushioning, especially if you're running on the pavement on the streets. You want shoes that can really absorb the impact and keep that pressure from your knees. For example, these are the new Asics that I just got. This is the first time that I got a running shoe that actually has inserts in them that provide different levels of support and actually curve to the shape of your own foot. This is the first time that I genuinely feel like I have the right amount of support, especially if you have imbalanced feet where your left foot and right foot aren't exactly symmetrical. Next is a secure fit. Obviously your feet shouldn't be sliding around inside your shoes. You want just a little bit of wiggle room, for example, in the toe area, but you also want to make sure there's a secure fit in how you're tying your shoelaces. I just recently learned about the runner's knot, which looks like this, and it's a secure way so that it's more snug around your heel while you're running. And last is support for your feet. Everyone is different. Some have flat feet, higher arches, overpronation. So if you can, I highly recommend for this section that you go to a running store to actually get fitted properly. And this isn't sponsored or anything. Actually, this feature is free, at least at Fleet Feet. I've gone to Fleet Feet both times that I've gotten new running shoes, and essentially they'll have you walk across a walking pad and show you analytics of your feet, the exact structure of your feet, and you can better understand the pressure points when you're walking and running. And then they bring you out multiple different brands that are customized to your type of foot and that'll better suit you on your running. So definitely don't make the mistake of just walking into a shoe store and getting whatever shoes look cute and deciding those are going to be your new running shoes. We all want to look cute when running, but definitely put looks, color, maybe even brand aside and be open-minded when it comes to selecting a shoe, because some of the trendiest sneakers are absolute garbage for running. So make sure that you choose function first. Go in with the idea that you're going to get the shoe that fits most comfortably for you and focus on functionality. You can always go the cute color route once you find the brand that actually works for you. Next is that running socks actually matter. And this was totally news to me. I know this sounds so dramatic and maybe like a salesperson would try to sell you socks along with your shoes, but it really makes a difference. For example, just recently I ran with the wrong pair of socks and I actually got a blister on the right side of my foot because regular cotton socks can actually cause a lot of friction. Like seriously, the blisters are painful, and once again, it'll be something that holds you back from wanting to run again. So yes, this is super important on the list along with shoes. You need moisture wicking sock, not cotton sock. It's also beneficial if these are no slip ankle socks, so they'll stay secure and fastened and won't be sliding down while you're running. And then you also want socks with light compression because this is what's going to help prevent blisters, but will still allow good amount of circulation. So yeah, socks might seem like a small little insignificant thing, but if you can even get 1 to 3 pairs so that you can alternate, it's definitely worth it. And if you feel like they might be trying to highball you at the actual shoe store, you can just get some online as well. These are some brands that I would recommend. Next, we'll talk about running outfits. I know for me, one thing that was holding me back was feeling like I didn't have the right running outfits to be able to go outside and run, but you really don't need expensive running outdoor clothing. What matters more is that you have clothing that is actually breathable and is either light and airy, for example, when it's hot outside, or will keep you nice and warm without making you overheat in the winter. Luckily now it's turning into spring, so think about light fitting clothing like moisture wicking tank tops. Running shorts, those with the built-in liner, I really love too because they don't ride up while you're running. And a good sports bra, something that'll hold, you know, them into place, because a lot of the time we have like older sports bras or ones we've worn for a really long time that don't provide enough support. So a good supportive sports bra is a must too. This was my first time running in cold weather and I will definitely say Heat Tech made all the difference for me. Long sleeve that wicks sweat is definitely a must. This is my go-to one for running, but anything thermal that's built for running conditions is perfect. I also typically run in tights or leggings during this time, so making sure that they're nice and breathable, not cotton that's going to just soak up all your sweat. And no matter the season, other accessories like hats, headbands help keep the sweat out of your face, and sunglasses can also do that too, but those are definitely supplemental, not necessarily mandatory. And on that topic, here are some extras that could add and make your running more enjoyable. One is wireless headphones. I actually run with my Apple AirPods. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that because they're a little bit heavier, but some nice lightweight Apple AirPods if you have those. Something that has a good battery life and isn't too heavy on your head. There's also, I think I've seen like the shocks that you actually don't go into your ears, but they go over your ears. A lot of runners like those too. You just basically want something that doesn't have a lot of cords and won't bounce all over the place. Next is a running app or running watch. Great to track your progress. You can always use your phone, but having something like a watch is nice because it's not as bulky and you can start and stop your race. Along with the connectivity to your headphones, it can also help you know when to speed up, when to slow down, updates on your heart rate. If you're on a fitness plan, it can give you updates. So it's super beneficial if you can have a watch that can really help with your track progress. Next is sunglasses if you want to protect your eyes. There are so many cool ones, and I just recently got into this world of running sunglasses, and I think I might get a pair for myself this summer. I remember when I would run in the summertime around like the lake areas, there would be a lot of gnats and they would like get into my eyes sometimes. So on top of just protecting from the sun, it can protect from anything that can like fly into your eye, because that can actually mess up your run and just make you miserable if there's like something that gets caught in your eye that you can't get out. And lastly is a running belt or an armband. If you end up having a lot of supplies that you need to carry with you as you start picking up on your miles, you're probably going to want to carry things like little snacks, maybe a tiny water bottle or some gels. The bottom line is, if you have gear that makes you feel hurt or makes you miserable, or headphones that keep falling out, you're not going to go for your runs because it's just not a great experience. So set yourself up for success, and also invest in the little things that'll make running easier and just feel good, because when you're comfortable running, it's going to feel so much easier to actually stick with. So as mentioned, I used to think that running meant running as fast as you can for as long as you can. Like, how complicated could that be, right? But the truth is, running is about far more than just distance, and it's more about efficiency. Good form and proper breathing can make running feel so much easier. It can help you prevent injury and let you run for longer without feeling like you're gonna die. So let's fix that by talking about why running form actually matters. And if you're just starting out, starting with bad form can actually hurt you in the long run. So it's better to start now. Bad form means more effort, more strain, and more likely to be prone to injury. So to summarize it, you want to run in a way that feels natural, light, and not stiff and exhausting. So if you're running and every step feels extremely heavy, like cement hitting the pavement, that's probably because your foot isn't landing in the right placement. Here are the don'ts that you don't want. Don't want to be landing hard on your heels because it could send shocks up your leg. And you don't want to run on your tippy toes because that'll burn out your calves fast. I was a tippy toe runner myself before I learned this. This was actually a mistake that I was making. I think I thought that to run fast, you had to run more forward, which meant running on your tippy toes. But what you want to do is land directly under yourself, which means about the middle of your foot. Aim to land midfoot, not too far forward or too far back. Think soft and light. You shouldn't be reaching too far forward. A great trick is imagine running quietly, because if your steps are too loud, you're probably also running out of control. So keep it light and keep it controlled. Another easy way to fix your form is to fix your posture first. Do you ever notice how some runners make it look effortless and others look like they're fighting for their life? It's all about posture, and this is a good way to fix your form. One is to keep your chest open, so you don't want your shoulders to be hunched over. This will also help with your breathing. Two is keep your shoulders down and relaxed, so no, they shouldn't be scrunched up near your ears. You don't want any tension anywhere. Next is look ahead instead of down at your feet. Looking ahead will help with your balance and make sure that you're having a more even foot placement every time that you step. Think as if there's a string pulling up from the top of your head all the way down to your feet. So tall but relaxed. You don't want any weird neck bending or pain after you run. Next thing you want to do is fix your breathing. So no, you don't want to feel like you're dying. You don't want to be huffing and puffing. When I first started, my breathing was all over the place. It was shallow and desperate. Turns out there's a better way to breathe that will help you when you're running. I'm sure you've heard this before. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Easier said than done in the moment. But that's also why I mentioned running slower, focusing on your form and your breathing when you're first starting. Next is to breathe deep from your belly, not from your chest. I think I learned this one from band, but if you've never been in band before, deep belly breaths are going to help. And basically, if your shoulders are rising and falling with every breath, that means you're taking more chest breaths than belly breaths. And last on the topic of form is your arm. Have you ever finished a run and thought, why do my arms feel like I just finished a workout? It's probably because of how you're holding your arms. What you want to do is keep your arms at a 90-degree angle. You don't want them stiff, you just want them relaxed. And you also want them to swing naturally, so no clenched fists. This was like a really funny tip I got, which is imagine holding a potato chip in each of your hands. You don't want to squeeze it so that it cracks. You just want to gently hold it, but not enough to crush it. Next is to find your natural cadence, which is a fancy word that just means find your rhythm, because it's pretty different for everyone. Everyone's a different height and weight. I've noticed people run differently too, but basically it means how many steps you take per minute. A lot of beginners take big, slow steps, and that actually makes running harder. If you're ever feeling tired, try taking more steps in the same amount of time instead of larger steps that are going going to make you exhausted. Another thing you can do is when you're setting up your music playlist, try to get songs that match the pace that you're actually running. A good cadence to aim for is around 160 to 180 beats per minute, but at the same time, don't overthink it. You don't need to run very fast or far, but you do want to run smart. Running gets easier not because it magically becomes less effort, but you get stronger. You know what's crazy is that the hardest part of running isn't even the running itself, it's showing up for the runs. And it's showing up for the runs over and over again, especially on the days when you'd rather do literally anything else. Motivation can be tricky because like some days you wake up with extreme amounts of motivation and you feel unstoppable, and other days you're convinced that just walking over to the fridge to get a snack is your cardio for the day. But staying consistent isn't about waiting just for that motivation. It's about creating systems that will make running a new part of your life. So let's talk about how to actually stay consistently motivated and how to track your progress in a way that will make you want to keep going. The first and biggest one is to find your why. Why exactly are you starting to run? And it's not just because you want to exercise more, because there are so many different forms of exercise. That isn't a strong enough reason, because on those days when you don't have motivation, you're going to end up talking yourself out of it. And it can't just be, I want to lose weight, broadly speaking, because there are so many other forms of exercise that can help you lose weight. So what is the true reason that you want to run? Maybe you want to feel stronger and more energized. Maybe you want to prove to yourself that you can do hard things. Or maybe you want to genuinely run a mile without stopping and wheezing and being out of breath. Write it down or say it out loud to make it real. The why is what's going to fight for you on those days when you cannot find the motivation. For me, it's as simple as I see myself as taking on the identity of being a runner. And when I look to my future, I see myself being a runner for years to come. So for me, it's definitely that identity piece that's helping me get through those tough times. Another thing to make running super easy so that you're not fighting tooth and nail to get out the door is to come up with a plan. The secret is the less thinking that you have to do, the more doing you'll do. And that's what's going to make it easy to stay consistent. You already have a plan and you already have a routine. So instead of waking up and every day deciding, am I going to run today or am I not going to run today? You already know exactly which days you're going to run and if you're running the next day or not. So first thing I recommend to do is pick your number of running days in advance and start super small. For me, I decided that I want to run 3 times a week. Then you want to set a specific goal. What exactly are you training for? Do you want to simply run 1 mile without stopping? Do you want to run a 5K, half a marathon, or a full marathon? I'll tell you, the training plan that I did when I was starting running was Nike and Strava and, sorry, there's an entire running club passing right now. That is so funny. Literally an entire running club is passing by when I'm talking about running. Now, if that doesn't motivate you, I don't know what will. So one thing that helped me is start specifically a beginner running training program or just getting back into running training program. That will be all the baby steps that you need to actually get started. If you don't know where to begin with a training plan, Nike app was the first one that I used when I got started. It is totally free and you can just put in there how many days a week that you want to run and what you want to train for and just start the beginner journey route. And now I use the Runna app. I love the Runna app. I feel like it is better catered to beginner runners, but there is a fee to use it. I know for me, the training plan holds me accountable because if I don't do the run today, then that's going to cut into my rest days. That is going to prepare me for example, my next long run or something like that. Actually see the progress. And that's why I enjoy the training plan, because being able to tick that off, being able to put my analytics up on Strava and kind of show that I run for that day, all of those things kind of add up and just make you feel so much more accomplished. Basically, you want to make that running just something that you do as part of your week as much as possible. It's simple as waking up and brushing your teeth. It's not a question of if you're going to do it, you just know that you're going to get it done. And that's also why for me, including when you're going to run as part of your plan is super important too. For me, I find that the mornings I am so much more motivated to get up and get it out of the way than kind of waiting till the end of the day and it's kind of like looming over my head. So that's why I love getting it done first thing in the morning. So definitely use a running app if you're serious about starting your running journey. Next is to journal your runs. Consider writing down how each run felt so that you can keep track of what felt good and what didn't feel as good on certain days. And then tracking them makes you want to keep going, and then it just keeps going. So like you can actually make it enjoyable. One is super easy, adding music to your workout, right? The wireless headphones and getting a curated playlist kind of give you that main character energy. You know, you put on your favorite song and you go. Next is you can listen to a podcast or or audiobook. I love doing that as a hack, even with my workout routines. There are certain podcasts that I am super excited for every week that I listen to only when I'm doing my workouts or walks or runs. Another one is to run with a friend. Having another running buddy to run with you can totally change your motivation. I swear, having another person, another buddy by your side when you're running, push you through, and whenever they feel like giving up, you push them through. Just nice having someone else to hold you accountable could be great, especially if you're both just starting out. All these things are small little tweaks you can do that'll actually make running a little bit more fun. Oh, and don't forget that setting a goal can make you so much more motivated and hold you accountable. So I would say go sign up for a race right now, today. It could be like 2-3 months out. I guarantee you there's probably a race in your city a few months out from now, or whenever you feel like you'll be prepared. Go sign up for a race, something that'll hold you accountable. That will also help, because if you skip out on your running days, that means that it's going to affect your race day. And by signing up for something, you always kind of feel like you're achieving those mini wins, especially if it comes with like a medal or you get to take some photos, right? You don't necessarily need to go out there and run a marathon, okay? When you're just starting, don't sign up for something super overwhelming. Instead, break it down into smaller pieces. My first run that I ever ran was a 5K, which is about 3 miles, and that was totally comfortable for me. That was actually pushing my limits at the time, and now I feel like, okay, I ran 2 5Ks already. I'm ready to sign up for a 10K and kind of slowly progress. Every time that you hit that small goal, you'll get more and more little dopamine boosts that will keep you motivated, and that's what's going to keep you coming back, because motivation is really overrated, but discipline will win every time. So yeah, the truth is you probably won't always feel motivated, and that's totally fine and that's normal. We're human. But if you create systems that make running so much easier and a habit and part of your identity, it'll remind you why you started and why you continue going. And one day you'll look back and you'll realize, wait, running is just part of what I do. It's part of who I am. Starting your running journey isn't about being the fastest or going the furthest right off the bat. It's about being consistent and showing up for yourself. So I really hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure you subscribe to stick around, and let me know in the comments what your biggest struggle is when it comes to running. But I believe in you. Good luck on your running journey, and I'll see you in the next one.